What have you learned this year? "2008 is almost over. What have you learned this year?" I learned what CDO's collateralized debt obligations are and how they can hurt the national economy. What you don't know can hurt you. What about you? What have you learned? The healthcare system sucks. Writing a book isn't as easy as it seems. To breathe. Fear is paralyzing. Fear is overcome by gratitude. The importance of honoring instinct. The joy of knowing I have things that I will never lose. The importance of balance. Being a shepherd is joyful work. How to make crumb cake. Not to put off that which will bring joy and meaning to my life. And many more that I can't think of right now. Many of these relate to me selling my rental property in September and doing the work myself, and some relate to my online websites. Why not by now? Networking is one of the most important things I can do. Life is like a muscle. I only get stronger if I push myself beyond my limit. I need to reward myself occasionally and enjoy the fruits of my labor. I have more, but I need to think about them. I really should record those aha moments. Great responses. I have also learned that you need to include taking care of yourself physically when you make your plans for success. Exercise and diet. Banana. Oh yeah, I also learned about SEO, search engine optimization. I know I'm slow. I never heard of it before June of this year. Some of you are old pros at SEO, icon_super. Yes. You should. I say this only because we have been doing it in our notebook for years and it is a habit that really does make a difference. We write it on back of the page where we record our goals for the year. This makes it easy to go back and review our ahas of the past. No one else learned anything this year. I have learned to verify oral agreements. To say no more often. To try to relax more often. To follow my finances in a more detailed fashion and actually enjoy tinkering with my private income and balance sheet. I love doing this and see the bottom line come together. Addiction hazard for sure. I have also learned to disregard certain people who are not benefiting my good mental state. Being a pleaser is so bad for your health. I feel so much better now when I listen to what I want from things first. Because without you being well, you can never help others being well. Not possible. It's like giving money when you have $0 balance. No can do. That getting hella rich is easy if you have the correct mindset to always look at the fundamentals behind an investment and not just blindly follow what the stockbroker says to do. So much and a ton more every day. At this point last year my goal was to just sit back and work my own business, comfortably making enough money for my monthly expenses and a few indulgences while possibly learning accounting and partaking in the drudgery of 70 to 80 hours weeks of doing taxes and eventually taking over my dad's business and making a year's salary plus in 4-6 months. Now I see that it's so much more than that! 1. It doesn't take millions to invest in real estate and that cash flow can be your best friend. 2. There really is a difference BOW good debt and bad debt. As long as you have cash flow that is outweighing your expenses. 3. Rome wasn't built in a day. By this I mean I found that wealth builds exponentially. It starts off slow and then explodes, a process that can take a few years, but beats depending on IRAs and 401k'(S4) I can accomplish great things. After finishing the Chicago Marathon, which came after 7 months of preparation, then anything is possible, such as going back to my creative childhood and actually inventing and implementing all the crazy ideas I used to draw up and building a system! 5. Fast lane success comes from building a system, not a business. By this I mean building something that runs itself is the goal for 09 instead of what the goal was in the tax business, to be as hands-on as possible and do all the work myself. 6. Knowing and tapping into resources, i.e. I never thought I could build a website, but the more I research and after taking step number 1 of buying domains, it's a very realistic goal to have a cash-flowing website up and running by summer of 09. Cool Gleamer: 7 Web forums aren't just for bench racing, heated debates and other nonsense. There is actually a forum devoted to great personal or financial development, and I found it. HL. I learned what RSS feeds are. Amazing stuff. Groove, yeah, I know I'm slow. SMX4. I learned that despite how much I like making money, I seem to enjoy spending it more. And therefore I need to work on being more conservative with my spending in 2009, otherwise this is going to take forever. Hackjack. 1 Ins and outs of buying USFR. 2 Technical analysis of forex markets. EAs aren't the end all. They are an intro. 3 My time is more valuable than my bank account balance. 5 Walmart sucks! 6 Building a website is a challenge as is writing a book. 7 Lean into your limits. 8 Take time to invest in love, whether it be family or friends. 9 Get a mentor. 10 I am enough. Wave. Biggest thing has been making the jump from entrepreneur to manager. It's so funny, you can see the problem coming. You know what you want to do, and yet it's still really hard to make it work out well. As our staff has grown, I have hired a general manager to run the day-to-day operations so I can focus on planning and growing more. Yet, every day, I find myself meddling in his ideas, and inserting my own thoughts. Sure, it's my business and my job to make it go, but I hired these people to do this work, and I trust them. I need to let them go. And I think that jump from entrepreneur to manager is one of the most humbling and challenging business concepts I certainly have not mastered. I have caught glimpses of it working beautifully though. It is something I must keep learning and improving for our business to grow. I also learned that recession can hit all businesses, even quickly growing ones. The money I saved up for a rainy day, keeping no debt and things, has really helped us not only weather a storm for now, but adjust and continue on the offensive. Against all odds, I'm starting to understand how to make the jump. I bet in 2009 I'll learn a lot more too, whether I want to or not. Great stuff. It's December 27, 2008. 4 more days left this year. Anyone else learn anything they want to share? Ears. Kinda knew some of this stuff before, but this year really brought these lessons home. 1. I am the biggest obstacle and greatest asset to my success. 2. Fear comes in many forms. If you think you've conquered all fear, you're wrong. 3. Fear needs to be dealt with like any other business decision. 4. We hear what we want to hear. 5. Oftentimes, the things you worry about or fear the most never happen. 6. If you pay attention and put yourself in the position to see what a child sees with their eyes, you can rediscover the world. It sounds trite, but it's effing amazing. H. This year I've learned that. So true. _clap. Awesome thread. Anyone else? What I learned so far: it's all in the attitude. Greater than I used to be a negative person, highly stressed over work or schooling, but now I just try my best and the stress has been reduced to nothing basically. The grades are coming in great. Always believe in yourself. Negativity turns people away from you, including the Chiquitas. SMXP: I used to be a perfectionist, but I realized that it's unrealistic and okay to make mistakes and learn from them. Schooling and job etc. Sky is the limit really, it's all up to me on where I take myself. Some guy on another forum I frequent took a 103k brokerage account to over 500k in 1 year. Spend time with those that are important to you. I miss my familiars, I rarely get to spend time with them. They are overseas right now. Take care of yourself nutrition wise and get plenty of exercise. I know the effects of not doing these on me and my schedule. Very important. Nothing is more important than a health. Take yourself out of your comfort zone. It can only benefit you and take you places that many people will never reach. Do what others are willing to do. Life is short. You don't know when you're going to leave it. So have fun while you're here, and don't waste time on jerks. Also, I learned from the school of hard knocks never to trust people, and oral agreements are worth the paper they are written on. What have I learned this year? Overall it's quite random, but has helped me tremendously. A euro cent. Do something that scares you every day. It's amazing what you can do once you get used to doing so, and paired with concurring fear, you become a whole new person. A euro cent. Realize the worst that could happen and the best possible outcomes. Then you begin to realize it isn't a euro TMT all that bad. A euro cent. Both I plan to try next year. A euro cent. Not your a euro a friend a euro who uses you for some spare cash every month. Having like-minded person and friends to associate and talk with is key. A euro cent. That I should write stuff down if only to give myself a little credit. I learned how to import goods by boat from overseas. I learned what SEO, blog, Facebook, stump loop on are. You are not alone unim exclamation mark. I learned about monthly retail taxes from a biz. I learned QuickBooks not a pro though exclamation mark. I learned about the power of blogs. I learned that you cannot slack on marketing. I learned about UPS refunds. I learned how to use. Maybe I'll keep better track next year. Cool thread. Amen. If I may expand, I think it's more about listening to everyone, extracting what you will from it, but trust no one. Even further, just when I thought I had life somewhat figured out, I think life is becoming an even bigger game of BS than I originally thought. What between all the fake investments that have been drummed up lately to allow people to bet their lives away, ETFs, credit default swaps, etc. Investing in anything other than has truly become legalized, and I use that term loosely. Gambling and ripe with crooks and loopholes, just amazing. I am in no way religious in any way, but I used to get the silver report from a guy named Jason Homeluk, who I came to learn was a biblical theorist when it came to investing. He quoted a verse in the scripture that went something along the lines of, those who don't hold their wealth in physical form, actual silver versus paper forms of the asset, would be doomed to, yada, yada. I've really started to think about that recently more given the current state of our economic crisis. There would certainly be some truth in that scripture statement if one just looks around. I've not been directly hit by any of the debauchery, but it sure make me think. And tends to solidify the trust no one mantra. Watch, learn, listen and handle your own business. My learnings for the year. Happy holidays. Well said. The more I get into reinvesting, the more I like Warren Buffett. Don't invest in things you don't fully understand, trust your BS meter. Rating agencies are useless. This was by far the biggest insight from this crisis. I knew Americans were going crazy with I knew bad loans were made, etc. I never questioned ratings handed out by companies like Moody's and S&P, not sure why, seems so obvious now. We have well over 1,500 members and only 20 learned anything at all in 2008. It doesn't have to be Fastlane related. Could be just life lessons. I think in terms of Fastlane, I learned taking action on a business venture, no matter how small, is always better than inaction, even if you end up failing completely. In terms of non-business things, I learned that people change. As one who had a pot of money cash offered to him for a lot he paid very little, all things relative, for, and who decided that it was worth more than the 5 times he was being offered, so passed up the offer and now couldn't get 2 or 3 RDS of that. SMX4: I have decided I'd like to try Mr. Buffett's mantra of I've made a lot of money selling too cheap. I kick myself every time I think about it. Greed is not good, contrary to popular belief. Even if I had to pay taxes on the sale, I'd have been ahead of what I could get for it now. Make money, and get out, don't hold out, that's my new motto. I totally agree with you. Putting on weight is easy, but it is such a struggle to shave it off. I was totally shocked and depressed when I could not fit in my jeans in the fall. I have been wearing shorts all summer. I finally got on an exercise regimen and need to stick to it. Without your health, nothing matters. Other things I learned this year is not to eat 3 ice cream cones in a row. Cash is king. Don't be greedy and be happy with 1 or 2 exotic cars versus dozens. Not to lose sleep anymore worried about things. Do your best and shun problems away after work hours and turn your cell off. I used to be a stockbroker for many years before I got involved in real estate. One thing I learned and live by is if you cannot see it, feel it, touch it, and smell it, then don't invest in it. Real estate laws. I got my license. Yay! That being a buyer's or seller's agent is a completely different ball game than personally investing in real estate. How to manage my properties myself. Yes, I know that you think it is a waste of time, but I wanted to learn because I believe it has made me stronger. I am 5 feet and weigh 95 pounds, and I've collected rent from thugs and mowed grass for the first time this year. SMXG: How to analyze stocks that pay dividends. That making a website like real estate has a learning curve. In 2008 I have learnt quite a lot. Nothing earth-shattering, but nonetheless what I've learned has helped me considerably. I have understood the entrepreneurial premise. I have previously ignored it and spent some time hung up on flawed ideas, but now I truly appreciate it. I have developed a basic but sound understanding of the economy and its complex laws. Also a basic understanding of finance, and I understand the necessity to analyze the fundamentals of a publicly traded company as well as to question whether the company has a successful entrepreneurial premise. Non-business related. I have learned aside from family, one of the things which allows me to be happy is weight training and sound nutrition for bodybuilding. I love doing it and I love the effects it has on my body and mind. I have changed schools at the start of the year and found myself really quite isolated at my new school. I have done a lot of reading and discovered a great for a more online community with an interest in social dynamics and applying the principles I have learned there. I have made many new friends. I have learned I have an addictive personality and I am easily distracted, especially wasting time on the internet. Smug 2. Recently I have been bringing some accountability into my life as well as implementing various productivity systems. Modified version of system has helped me keep on track. School is not the make all, break all when determining your success in life, but I have accepted if I do not come across my $1 million idea now, university will be a great place to complete a business degree, network with others, be inspired and possibly form a partnership with another entrepreneurial-minded person. Patience is a virtue, a simple but important lesson. And finally, one thing I have been taught is that you should not be afraid or ashamed to change yourself if being yourself is not making you happy. There are a few things which in 2009 I wish to learn and do. Business-wise, I wish to just keep learning more about economics, finance and the fundamentals of analyzing a company. Unfortunately, I didn't take a business or economics class at school, but Wikipedia is my friend here. And finally, I want to maintain marks at school that will allow me to gain entry to a business course of my choice. I want to learn more about history from ancient times through to the modern day to give me an understanding of my context, and so I can tell some interesting tales. The most fascinating people I have met have a great understanding of history and never run out of something to say. Increase overall wisdom and general knowledge. I wish to expand my knowledge of foreign and historic cultures so I can have empathy for strangers I meet when I travel the world throughout my life. These last 2 points are something I am actively learning about but will learn more and more forever. Haven't had a lot of tangible achievements, have learned many life lessons, a lot about business and other academic subject interesting to me. I guess it's about time for this kind of end-year review, my personal learnings. Few points that stick out: follow what really works, not what you perceive work. See the wealthy guy that drives a 10yo car versus the guy that is broke leasing a new Maserati. I didn't do this, more in the sense of websites than in person. Doesn't matter how good looking or how well your e-store is laid out, if you have crap products, you will make no sales. Don't work with people because you think they are the only ones there that know how to do what you need. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Learned more about the web this year than in the 2.5 years I have really dug into it. Learned about value propositions and why they are the most important tagline of your company. Hire in USA or Canada. Hire out, don't have the money. Sell something, then hire out, then continue to work. You are maximizing what you can get done in the same amount of time. Key to growth: want to really make money, please the mass market of idiots rather than your own little perceived group of smart people. Learned a bunch more, but I hit a wall right here. Ha ha. For me, 2008 is the year of many mistakes. So I am grateful to have the mindset to learn from them. I've learned that willpower can easily be broken if you surround yourself with corrupted people. I've learned that it takes a lot of hard work to succeed in independent insurance sales. I've learned that my family is the most important thing in my life. I've learned that it takes real effort to feel good on a daily basis and that my youth can't always give me the energy I need. If you don't watch what you eat, you can become drained on a daily basis. Same goes for exercise. I've learned that I have a lot of growing to do in order to be ready for anything that makes me financially successful. One thing I must say is the number one thing that I took from 2008 or even from the fast lane is that there comes a time when you must stop reading, stop researching, stop looking, and I think the biggest thing I can take from 2008, you just have to get out and do it. Planning is great and I think we all need to have a plan, but just do it. Know where you are going, why you want to be there, and how you will get there, and lastly, know your planned arrival date. End of the day though, you just have to do it and let the small details work out. Also, great people still exist and want to help. 2008 was a challenging year for even the most experienced investors. Any more lessons? That is probably the biggest thing I have gotten from this forum. I find over-researching an excuse. Analysis paralysis, as some call it. You nailed this one. 2009 looks to be a heck of a productive year for you. Can't wait to hear about your progress. Keep growing, learning. Keep a positive attitude as much as possible. All the time your life keeps going with no pauses, so keep learning, having fun, and go after what you want. Think big, because you set the limit. Think bigger. We become what we think about. And that our brains have mirror neurons, which means you are who you hang out with. Fastlane. The exact reason I wanna start having some local Fastlane gatherings, and oh yeah, looking forward to B&P. While I am blessed to have a wonderful family and friends, I also know that they are caught in the rat race mentality and it has had a negative effect on me. I'm not saying I want to keep them out of my life. I just need more positive influences so I can help provide a better life for those I care about the most. I have a close friend that is going through some serious personal issues now, and if I wasn't tied down to work, I'd be there for him every step of the way. He's been there for me. On top of what I've learned is that truly successful people are mostly about helping others, rather than just lavishing in their own successes. Whether it's through charity or just assisting others in reaching their personal or financial goals, and only when I have reached this point will I consider myself successful. Cool Gleamer icon_super SMX9. Thanks for the props, princess. After reading Stevio's holiday story again, the idea is sinking in more. I would really like this thread coming back and some members posting. So here are my lessons in 2012. Somebody was frustrated over here, for example, because he was too scared to call a girl not long ago. Many threads are about being afraid of cold calling, sales, picking up girls, or whatever is tied to fear. The best way for me to overcome fear is to ask myself, what are the alternatives if I don't overcome this fear? When I was afraid of quitting my job many years ago, I had so many fears about the future, but thinking about what's going to happen with my life, not overcoming the fear to quit my job, made me do it. In 2012 there have been many situations where I loved using this thought pattern again and again. I thought today of this sentence as my best friend was frustrated why so many people around him want him to do this and that what they want. He said, "It's crazy. It's Christmas and my complete family is so stressed and bitchy, because everybody wants to get what they want and everything to happen their way. When two people meet and person number one wants this and that and person number two wants nothing from the person, it's going to be painful for person number two." Most of us see this with old friends when we start our biz and old friends want to get from us what they want, like needing us to go out and party, because they need something to do when all you want to do is build your biz, get free, serve the world. It's crazy how many people don't even think about what other people need or want, but when you are an entrepreneur you realize how that is probably the most important part about business and life. Yesterday I saw a beggar on the street next to me while waiting for a friend. He was like the same age as me, 25, and the thing I thought was, a beggar is basically somebody without any value to society. Now, don't misunderstand me, I don't have anything about anybody in this situation, because life treats everybody different, but the basic lesson I got from this is very important to me. It's crazy how one person ends up on the street, because this person has nothing to offer, the next person who at least plays some music on the street makes some money, and the next person is a millionaire because he serves millions of people. After many years it feels good when you realize how you don't need to argue with parents or other people about entrepreneurship, etc. There comes a point when you are just focused on your journey and realize there's no need to change minds when you know all you get back is an argument. It was like a relief this year to me when I stopped it all and cut all this crap. You stop thinking about somebody, why is he doing that, when he could be doing this. You stop feeling upset, because somebody doesn't get the process to a goal, or all the people that make decisions and then whine about it all day long. It feels good to let many emotions go and focus on people that make you happy or make you learn something. This forum rocks, and I think the Fastlane family makes many of us feel better, especially when you start your journey and all other people don't get you and you need some people to understand and support you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. TK1, remind me to speed plus you for this post, as I'm on my cell phone right now! 2012 has taught me to rethink my limits. I was seeing tunnel-eyed until now. There's no such thing as friends. They are merely acquaintances with very similar interests. Always think logically. Emotions and decisions should never mix up. Never give up. Revenge is bittersweet. Let the universe handle your troubles. Family is key. Live for the moment. Moments of fear means that your willpower is simply testing you. For me, this was an all-around great year, with great ups and terrible downs, packaged with wonderful life lessons, of course. I wish you all happy holidays. 2012 a great year for myself. I grew from a net worth of mid-5 figures to low 7 figures and back to low 5 figures all within a year. I learned that you can and cannot change the people around you. The people around you this moment you cannot change, but you, yourself, can change those people. This year I dropped my family out of my life financially. Having to care for nearly 7 to 10 family members at a time was emotional or financially or physically demanding. Stress is a physical reaction. Now, I'm living on my own and rebuilding my empire. I'm a person of value now. I still want that Aventador, but not in the same light. It's not a means to an end. For myself, I'm building a brand that is going to change the world or a small part of it. My value created will represent my net worth in 3 to 5 years' time. I'm done chasing money. I might have made low mid-7 figures during the past 5 years, but what came of it? I've learned how to budget my money to a T, opening myself to opportunities that were not available with my prior mindset. I'm thankful for everything that has happened to me because I wouldn't be the great man I am today. I'm not arrogant, I just accept that I will be the best me for today. I've never been happier not spending money. Money is just a tool like so many other tools we have available in our life. Also, I learned about my body. I lost nearly 120 pounds this year, with another 60 to go. Looking forward to meeting you all at BP. Wow, where to begin? This year has been one of the most difficult years I have ever had, both professionally and personally. Having said that, I have learned a ton. For starters, there is an incredible amount of nastiness in big old buildings. The other major change I have made is in my outlook. I no longer care about getting a Ferrari. At this point I could care less about my car as long as it is not a complete pose and is reliable. I am no longer working for the lifestyle of the rich and famous, I am working for my freedom, something that is infinitely more valuable than possessions. I have never really wanted tons of expensive crap, but I have always been into cars, as it turns out, though I like snowboarding, fresh powder and catching trout more. I just want to say thank you to all of the great members of this forum who contribute so much and ask for so little. You all have been a great inspiration to me, and this forum has definitely helped me keep my head above water. 2012 taught me a few tough lessons. Renters always say they won't smoke in the unit, only on the porch or deck. However, they always will smoke inside the unit. Same for outdoor pets. Whenever you think you have everything on autopilot, Murphy's Law will be visiting. No matter where you are in life, life will still send trials your way. I guess the tests are to find out how much you really want your success. Lessons learned, looking forward to 2013. A lot. Blog post coming soon. Every year I try to learn something new, to become a better person, but 2012 was the most challenging year so far. Both personally, one of our beloved family member is no longer with us, and professionally. I learned that having control is crucial to your business, otherwise you risk getting kicked out sooner than you think. Mindset is what keeps you alive during the painful execution of your idea. I love cars, but as much as I love them, I truly realized that there are other things far more important, such as the value that you provide to people. Practice a sport. Be disciplined, and your execution skills of your idea will drastically improve. I know I didn't add much value to this forum so far, but I truly want to thank all of you for the inspiration. Wow, so much of wisdom. Things I learned in 2012 and before. Years: 1. Everyone you meet is better than you at something. So work with them and try to find and leverage their skills, knowledge and expertise. 2. Never ever put your fate in other people's hand. Or try not to put yourself in a position where you cannot control your own destiny. This has happened so many times before. At least I will be watchful for this. 3. To live in the east side of town and work in the west. That way when I leave for work in the morning, and come home from work, the sun will be behind me and won't blind me while I'm driving. I borrowed it from somewhere. But this is an important lesson I learned when driving on interstate to work. 4. Never expect life to be fair. Life is never fair. 5. Spend money on removing problems rather than buying stuff or buying luxury. There are so many people on this earth without even bare minimum. 6. To give up 3 damn things. A. Excuses. B. Blaming situations. C. Complaining about situations. I have not been able to, but every day I am trying hard. Might as well share some lessons learned as first post. Work faster or lose. Take a leap of faith. Working together is key. Wolf: a pack is better than a lone waffle. Sometimes the only way to progress is with a jolt or scare. Keep going, don't stop even when you are bling. Time is the most important thing, even more than money. This took a lot of thinking about this, and real-life application, but I put time as my number one priority. Deity: understand myself more. I have inner peace. There's no reason to life. No purpose. Humans just give this life a purpose. I can't expect God to grant me miracles. This might change with more knowledge of the universe. On a similar note, I learnt is do not indulge in any argument until you have resources ready with you. Besides, there are people who I call full glass. They just do not have space left in their brain, hence your words, no matter how practical or to the point, they won't listen to you. 1. I'm not as good as I think I am. 2. No one else is as good as I think they are. I can keep up with even those I look up to. 3. Two things that can really up my output are a team under me, and an external deadline. Just one or the other has much less effect. 4. Sometimes I use just put it out there, it'll never be perfect, as an excuse for laziness. I need to start learning from others' mistakes, and doing the necessary legwork. Instead of just saying FCK it, something is better than nothing. I suppose those all seem self-focused. General life lessons. Men and women are different. Many problems could be solved if we stopped seeing women as nice-smelling men with boobs, and women stopped seeing men as hairy misbehaving women. Haters are out there, and it's not easy to ignore them. Use them as fuel. I learned about passive income. I never heard of it before in my life. Biggest eye-opener ever. I learned about my comfort zone. I learned that life is a marathon, not a sprint. I learned how to network with people. I learned about value or problem solving. I learned that it's better to focus on what you are good at, than trying to make your worse better. I learned how to find the right information for the right moment. I learned I am more talk than walk. I learned what's truly important to me and why. I learned to stick to things instead of bouncing back and forth. Care to share what it is and why? I've learned about my real passions and goals for life. I've learned to make a plan for my life. I've learned to appreciate math and to think on a higher level and more strictly. I've learned to reappreciate religion. I've learned that it is important for me to know the sense of something and to really think about the sense carefully. But also that it is possible not to identify the true sense, because of my current limited mind. It's like a dilemma, but I've learned it's important to notice this issue. I've learned that not only the alleged truth of a perception is important, but also maybe more the effect of a perception. And I guess still more equals. I learned that it's good to be rich. In love, in life, in friends, and especially in newborn babies. And money. Sure. When it comes down to it, my family and my health. Without those, my life would be empty. That's not to say other things are not important. But my inner drive is linked to my health and family. I want to be able to support my family and give them everything they deserve, and I want to be here long enough to see my family grow. To be a better speaker presenter, to improve my blog little by little, and to add a new side business, continue to maintain a balance between work and personal life.